Hey, what's up guys? Average Sniper here and welcome to another video. I have done a couple videos about this game, one pretty long ago, and it got really popular. So this game is probably a little over 2 years old, and it went into early access when PUBG was still less than a year old, I believe. And this game is what basically came out. It was a shameless copy of PUBG, but the cool thing was it had extra features and it didn't have all the same bugs that PUBG did. So one of my friends, Gary, recently got a gaming PC, and I was trying to think of games that were not as hard as PUBG or were maybe a little more fun than PUBG to take away some of the learning curve from switching from console to keyboard and mouse on PC. So we tried this, which is called Ring of Elysium, and my friend Gary really liked it. And I really like it too. I can't say that I'll play it more than PUBG or anything like that, but one of the things that kind of astounded me when I came back is this game has a pretty low player count compared to PUBG. You're lucky if there's about 5,000 people online playing this game, but PUBG still has several 100,000 people playing it. Now, if you're into the hardcore, nitty-gritty, realistic experience, then PUBG is definitely the game for you. But if you want a PUBG-like experience that adds a little bit more casualness and fun to the game with extra equipment and like this grappling hook, very cool feature to get on a roof, just really cool stuff, then this game is probably going to be a breath of fresh air for you, especially if you're like me and PUBG is pretty much the only game you play, and occasionally you might need to take a break from it for a week or so and play something else that's similar so you still get your Battle Royale fix, but not the complete and utter sweatiness of PUBG. And this game is definitely it. So let me explain it a little bit to you. This game is a Battle Royale. It has solo mode and squads mode, and you can actually choose to play in servers in different regions in case there's not enough players playing in the server where you're playing it. PUBG used to let you do that, but they had such a problem with desync that they had to stop letting players from other countries get in their servers. Even though that still happens, people use VPNs, people find tons of ways to do it. Now, the second thing about this game is the graphics. Look at this water detail. I know these graphics aren't like AAA graphics. They're definitely way better than mobile graphics, and they're way better than the console graphics you get on PUBG when you play on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I mean, just looking at the little details they put in, the water filling up your screen when you surface, the clearness of the water, the reflections, the textures. The textures aren't bad, even up close. You know, I get up close to a rock in PUBG and I'm like, ugh, don't look at that rock. Even on good graphic settings, the textures just look kind of like crap. And I've always been more about gameplay over graphics, and this game just seems to deliver both. There's all kinds of vehicles in this game, and there's a really cool gadget you can put on, which Gary is actually in love with, where you can soup up the vehicles. You can each vehicle has a special mod. It either speeds it up or adds radar to it, or puts a gun on it or something like that. Very fun to play. Very fun to play. The recoil isn't as unforgiving as PUBG. It's very similar, but it's a little easier to control. So basically, if you have all the attachments on your gun, your recoil is going to be much more controllable. But if you don't have any attachments, it's going to be pretty much just like PUBG recoil. So I mean, I've been playing this game for 3 or 4 days with my friend Gary and some other friends now, and we've just been having a blast on it. It was a little frustrating at first getting used to the different things people can select, and there's 3 of them. You get to choose like what type of class you want when you start the game. So you have the class that I'm playing as right now, where you get where your gadget is a grappling hook, and you get 3 grapples, and they regen like every 10 seconds. And you can grapple up things, you can grapple in front of you to move faster. You can use the grapple to the ground as you fall off of a high platform so you don't take any fall damage. Very cool. And the second one would be a hang glider, where you can hang glide off of tall objects, or you use a little jetpack that shoots you into the air and activates your hang glider so you can get out of nasty situations in case you get pinned down. Say your whole squad gets killed or downed and thirsted and you're the last guy and you know you can't fight them. You can use the hang glider to just get out of there really quick, hoping that they don't shoot you off of it. And then the third gadget you can pick if you want to is the bicycle. You can get a BMX bike, and apparently you just pull it right out of your butt whenever you want. The bike just appears and you can start riding. Most people don't use that because it's pretty easy to get killed off of it, and the only thing it's good for really is if you don't have a vehicle, but there's vehicles everywhere. So I think the grappling hook is actually my favorite, because the grappling hook definitely takes combat into consideration. You know, if you got a guy below you, you can grapple onto the roof and have the advantage. If you got guys camping on a roof, you can grapple right up to it without coming in hot on a hang glider and having them, you know, basically see you before you get there. There's other perks and stuff you can pick. You get a gadget, and then you get like one ability. For example, the ability I'm using right now is a radar that I can put down. I think it takes about 5 minutes to regen, so you can't use it like crazy. But if you run into a city, for example, and people start shooting from the windows, you can put the radar down, and for a split second, it shows you enemy player positions. It doesn't follow them. They can move, and you won't see where they are, but it shows you where they are in that split second. Here's a guy on a hang glider trying to escape, just like I said, but he got shot off, so you got to be careful about that. The guns and the attachment system works the same as PUBG. The knockdown system works the same. You get knocked, you can get rezzed by teammates. That's another cool gadget they have in the game. They have a remote revive dart you can shoot into teammates. If they're fairly close to your medium range and they go down and you can't get to them, you can shoot a dart into them that automatically revives them. It takes twice as long to do the revive, but it's much better than sacrificing yourself to run out and try to revive a knocked teammate. There's an example of a souped up vehicle right there. It dropped some kind of explosive out of it as it drove by. This game is just tons of fun, man. If you're looking for a spin on the Battle Royale genre, you don't necessarily want to play Fortnite, but you're a little worn out of the nitty-gritty sweatiness of PUBG, then this is probably a game that you should try. And did I mention that it's totally free? That blows my mind. Like, the quality and the detail put into this game is really amazing for a free-to-play game, and they continue to support it even though the player base is very small. So I'm very impressed with this, and pretty much everybody I show it to that plays with it is also impressed. I rarely find anybody who actually dislikes this game, unless it's just for a generic reason, like I don't like having the gadgets like grappling hooks or anything like that. Then you just need to stick with PUBG, that's for sure. But I wouldn't even call this game a cross between Fortnite and PUBG, because it is definitely not a super casual game. If you get in gunfights with people that know what they're doing and they know how to use their equipment, it can be very frustrating trying to outwit them, because you'll have a guy hang gliding over you, you'll have a guy grappling in a tree above you, and it's all fun and games until you run into a try-hard team, just like any game. So it has a nice casual feel to it, but it's the same old Battle Royale. You definitely have to fight to survive. You don't just want to run out into the open. You want to get as much health and meds as you can, and yeah, it's really great. So here's one of the cool parts about it, is most Battle Royales end by killing the last player. But this Battle Royale ends, there can actually be 4 survivors. It can be your whole squad, or part of your squad and part of an enemy squad. You see my friend Gary just tried to climb the ladder to that helicopter that's hovering above us. That is how you win the game. You have to get to that helicopter. But the problem is, like you just saw, if there's still enemies left, they will shoot you off the ladder on your way to the helicopter. So it is in your best interest to try and eliminate any enemy players that are left before you climb that ladder. Now, if you're a boss and you think nobody's watching, sometimes you can sneak up the ladder and then you just sit there and wait for the rest of the seats to get filled up. But once you're in that ladder, you have won once you're in the helicopter, you have won the game. So I just eliminated the final player. You can see there's 4 unboarded players. That's just me and my squad. So now I am climbing the ladder to get in this chopper and basically win the game. And hot on my heels is Gary right here, climbing the ladder as well. And then we have our 2 teammates. The helicopter won't leave until the last player on the ground has been killed, or until the last player gets aboard the helicopter. And if everybody camps and waits for people to climb the ladder, this happens. The ash comes in, which is just like the blue zone in PUBG, and it starts chipping away at your health. Also, the mini-map will reveal enemy positions every 5 seconds, so that people can't camp too hard, because they'll know where you are and you'll know where they are, and the goal is to get up this ladder. So thanks for watching, guys. The name of the game is Ring of Elysium. It's free to play on Steam for PC, and if you haven't tried it and you have a computer that can run it, it doesn't have to be a super awesome gaming computer, just as long as it's not super old, should be able to handle this game. Check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. Later.